Hey, so this video is late, because I was actually in Japan for 2 weeks. That was fucking awesome. But afterwards, I came back to the States and then didn't really have a voice for like 3 days and then couldn't stop coughing, and I'm kind of still getting over that now. Anyway, so gonna finally talk about Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Kerning doesn't really exist on that second row there. While I'm wearing my Jurassic Park paraphernalia. So, his name is Gustav. Anyway, so, my friends and I, we actually saw Godzilla King of the Monsters in Japan, in Shinjuku, at Hotel Gracie, you know, the hotel that has Godzilla's head on it, at the Toho Cinema, where the premiere of the movie happened at. Yeah, we saw it there because we were like, might as well, we're in Japan, this movie comes out, we're gonna see a Godzilla movie in fucking Japan. So we did that. Oh god. Oh, it's still there. It's still there. Oh, man. And before I go into the movie, I'm just gonna quickly brief over Japanese theater experience. One, they fucking sell churros at their goddamn theater. They fucking sell churros at their theater. When we went to go see Hellboy in fucking, Pasadena, I didn't see no goddamn churros in your fucking theater. Fucking churros, motherfucker. Like, hey, where can I get a churro in a movie theater? I don't know, probably somewhere in like Southern California. No, Japan. What? And you go in, you walk in the theater, and it's like, what smells like cinnamon and stuff? Churros. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, woo. Anyway, we bought the ticket on the kiosk, and even though there was no option for English, because my ass has been to the movies so often, I was like, I know how to navigate this. Even though Masami knew some Japanese, I was like, beep boop up, buying the ticket. English with Japanese subtitles. Yep. And when we came to pick seats, I was like, oh man, let's get those middle seats, And I'm like, boop, boop, boop. And I was like, damn, why are movie tickets like 80-something bucks in the end? I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, whatever, we're in Japan, fuck it, whatever. Turns out, I actually chose, there's these things called premiere seats. So everything's assigned seat like a lot of movie theaters nowadays, but these are called premiere seats because, God bless you, Japan, because Japan has a culture of, like, people usually like to kind of be by themselves, so leave people alone, and, no one's really talking to one another, no socializing, which is perfect for me, but I'm with my friends, so when we got to, like, our seats, it was like their own mini cubicles, so instead of sitting next to my buddies and like, being like, yo, dude, this is awesome, it was just like, your seat, you get like a little seat next to you for like your bag and shit and a little hook to put your coat on, and then they have these fucking like airplane first class dividers. So there was a dude next to me, so I left mine up, but I was like, wait, I pushed mine back so I could like see Masami and Paul, and we were kind of far away from each other. Plus, because it is a Japanese theater, everyone was well behaved, everyone was quiet, and there are so many scenes in the movie where I know definitely Paul, and I know my ass wanted to be like, oh, like, yeah, do that, stereotypical, like, Americans in the movie theater shouting at the screen kind of stuff, because you're like, yeah, but we were just there like, But yeah, it was a great experience, so fuck it, And then when you leave the theater, because Japan is very much about, like, recycling and shit, take notes, US, instead of them being like, thanks for coming, and they're waiting with, like, the fucking, like, doing this gesture for the vacuum, so they can suck up the popcorn and shit, they're actually there, and they'll collect your garbage, and they're, like, sorting it, they're like, oh, a bottle, okay, the bottle was there, okay, cardboard was there, and I'm like, alright, cool, I like your style, But anyway, on to the movie. So, leading up to this movie coming out, I decided to rewatch all of the Godzilla movies. And when I say all, I mean all. I mean Roland Emmerich all, okay? I saw all the movies, I went through all the different periods, all that stuff, even the American ones, even the American recuts of the original Japanese ones, what's the one where they're like, yeah, let's intercut this white dude in there, just throw him in there, because we won't understand this movie if we don't put a white guy in there. Get in there, So I rewatched all of that shit. And some were great, some weren't so great, some were fucking awful, and some were like, oh, okay, you know. And I have to say, this movie, you definitely know this team, you know, they did their freaking research. They definitely knew, like, the history of these monsters and kind of, like, knew more about Godzilla compared to, like, the 2014 one. Because the 2014 one was, like, not really in name only, because obviously Godzilla was there. But, you know, they had those, like, the Mutos, like, beings. They're just, like, these new beings that we're just gonna create, so we're not gonna, like, you know, throw Rodan in there. We're not gonna have Mothra. We're not gonna have all our buddies and stuff. We're just gonna have, like, this new thing, because it's the American version, so we gotta be different and better. I should do more reviews standing up. Rather than stay on my computer. Oh! Like Celine Dion. Alright, anyway. So, and also, whereas the 2014 one, it was like the cock tease of Godzilla, you know, like, they would just kind of show him, like, kind of like, just little footage here and there, and then when he shows up, all of a sudden, like, a big door slams in your face, you're like, but I want to see my buddy, his name is on the title, let me see my buddy, you know? But the 2014 one was kind of like the Transformers kind of thing, where it's like, I know you want to see these things, but we're gonna show you this family, and you're like, you know, Bryan Cranston's the only reason why people came to see this fucking movie, and besides Godzilla himself, you know? But anyway, with Godzilla King of the Monsters, like I said, it's obviously that this team, they knew their research, they knew their history of the Godzilla films, they knew their history of, you know, the monsters themselves. And of course there were times where things were a little bit American, you know, and then the dialogue wasn't the best, you know, like, but the actors they got delivered that shit like it was, you were like, yeah, blah, 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 whatever you said, you know? Because you have, like, fucking Ken Watanabe, what's his fucking face that always plays, like, which is weird, is I think this is the first time I've ever seen him in a, like, contemporary movie, because he always plays, like, I think he was in First Man, but, like, the lead dude, the lead white dude, that's not the lead dude, that's not Ken Watanabe, because he has that very, like, 1960s I'm an astronaut kind of guy look to him. What's her name? Vera you know, what's her name? Her face from the Conjuring movies. Like, she's in it, and she fucking can act. And then Millie Bobby Brown's young ass is in it, and of course she could fucking act. Like, circles around everyone. So, like, all these people are, like, good fucking actors. They also got, I always forget his name, but, you know, he was in Terminator 2, you know, he's like, and he was also in, what's that show? Eureka? Anyway. But you've got these great actors, but they're delivering, like, the shittiest lines, but you are there with them. You're like, yes! Oh, yes! All hail the king, you know? Like, these cheesy lines, you're like, yeah! Ah! You know, you're, like, all excited. Like, yeah, cheesy fucking lines, and my god, did you just dig it out of a bag, but you were with it, you know? So the plot of, you know, Godzilla King of the Monsters is that, you know, we all know Godzilla exists because it is a continuation of the 2014 movie, which was fucking awesome. So Millie Bobby Brown's family, which is what's her name from Conjuring and, you know, Spaceman, they're a family that lost their son during the 2014 attack in San Francisco. And so, of course, like, the dad hates Godzilla, the mom is like, you know, it's like the dynamic you see a lot of times where, like, a tragedy happens, and one parent hates the thing, the other parent becomes obsessed by the thing, you know, and they're like, you know, one's lying to the other saying, like, oh no, I left that behind, I'm not obsessed anymore, but it's like, bitch, I built, like, this sonic wave, you know, turntable thing to, like, communicate with them, like, alright, cool, you know, and Millie Bobby Brown, of course, is, like, the child who's, like, stuck in the middle of, like, I love both my parents, I care about both my parents, I'm with one parent, but I still speak to the other one, and like, they're not, like, happy that, you know, mom's not happy, I'm speaking to dad, but dad's happy, I'm speaking to him, kind of shit. It's like stories we've heard before. We've heard this shit before. But Godzilla's involved. So, Ken Watanabe comes back. amazing, because you need the Japanese guy to just like look intently, you know, at the people and go Godzilla. You just need that, because if you don't have that, you have Roland Emmerich's, you know, Godzilla, which was my heart will go on. Okay, so anywho, whatchamacallit, they found out that there's other of these beings, of course, because Godzilla and all that shit. They know that they're called Titans, because we kind of have referred to them as Titans previously, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, awaken them, all that stuff, and they all come breaking out of the ice, out of the thing, of the fling and the flang, Mothra. Yeah, anyway, so, all that, you know, they come alive, all that stuff. And then a lot of them are responding to Ghidorah, which is, you know, what they call them, Monster Zero. Ghidorah, wait, hold on. There was another pronunciation of that. Ghidorah, whatever. You know what I mean, his three-headed ass. So, a lot of them responding to it. You see in the trailers, they're like, they're responding to blah, blah, blah. And they're like, but only one could, like, you know, fight against it. And it's like, Godzilla, you know? So, and they do the thing in this movie that they kind of do, and of course other Godzilla movies, which kind of like, oh, okay, we're following in that footsteps, which is Godzilla fights, he gets hurt and he's near death, but he comes back. But they do it twice, and that part kind of annoyed me, because it's like, come on, man, don't do this, like, come back, I'm almost dead, and come back again kind of shit. Because it's like, stop it. Please, you know. And I actually was kind of worried that they were going to kill off Godzilla, but I was like, wait, no, Toho has this thing that it's like, you do not kill off Godzilla, Roland Emmerich, you know. You don't kill off Godzilla, he's got the 3 dorsal fins in the back, 3 rows of dorsal fins, Roland Emmerich. Anyway, so, you know, whatever, who cares, family stuff, whatever. You know, Ghidorah is, like, fighting the shit out of, you know, Godzilla, and Godzilla seems to be, like, kicking his ass, and those fight scenes were fucking awesome, you know, very good CG, very good monster designs. I'm very happy with how they all look. It's all fucking awesome, all that stuff. But of course, you know, what's his name? Fuck, God, I'm really bad with names right now. What's his name? He was also in the 2014 one. Buzzcut thing. He was it Battlestar Galactica? Was it? I don't know, just... I'm on antibiotics, so my brain is like, anyway, so he's just like, we've got to launch this oxygen bomb. It's gonna kill everything within whatever radius of whatever shit, you know. So they're like, and part of me's like, is that safe? Because y'all, like, are in an airplane, which siphons out air. Okay, fine. So they drop this oxygen bomb, and like mad fish die and all that shit. Godzilla's like, bitch, why? You know, he's underwater, and then Ghidorah was like, do y'all know him from space? Do I know him from space? Like, everyone else is from, you know, the Monster Island, but I'm from space. And then part of me was like, are we gonna suddenly have Space Godzilla on this? Because I was like, yo, if this Godzilla is hurt, Space Godzilla with them shoulder pads is gonna be showing up. But anyway, no. So they realized that Godzilla's still alive, and he's just kind of like, I gotta figure out how to not die, you know? And he goes to, like, this ancient, I don't want to say Atlantis, but place that's, like, you know, they've looked for the radiation kind of shit, you know, because they were like, Godzilla was born out of, you know, nuclear testing, and what do we need to keep Godzilla alive? We must just give him a nuclear bomb, you know? Why not? And of course, it's that whole thing where, like, the sub is like, we can't just shoot the torpedo at him because something fling-flang dingy-doo, and it's like, you know, it's the whole, like, someone's got to sacrifice themselves. It's a very, like, Pacific Rim kind of thing, where it was just like, you know, the mentor guy is like, I've got to sacrifice myself, and then the tiny Asian woman is like, no, why? Why? I'm the tiny Asian woman. I look up to you, middle-aged man. Oh, no. And so then it's like, Ken Watanabe, you know, goes out there and he, like, just sacrifices himself. And that part was, like, it was hard to watch, you know? Like, I was like, please, Ken Watanabe. Okay, not that serious. But you're like, oh god, Ken Watanabe. And he just goes up and he's just like, well, I'm gonna die anyway. He, like, takes off his fucking, like, thing. And he's just like, mind you, you're underwater, but there's, like, an air pocket, because why not? And he's just like, okay. And he, like, takes off his glove. He should be, like, partially decayed, like, looking, you know, because of the radiation. But, you know, you gotta still stay looking good because it's a movie. And he's, like, puts his hand on Godzilla, and Godzilla's like, what up, bitch? What do you want? And he was just like, oh, you know, like, something like, was it like, thank you, old friend, or I forgot what he said, but you're just like, you know, and then the bomb goes off, and then Godzilla comes out like, bitch, what? I just had a Red Bull, you know. And of course Godzilla comes out, and he's just like, I'm fighting, I'm kicking all this ass and shit. And, you know, they take the turntable thing, and then they kind of, like, reverse the signal. Because, you know, that always happens in sci-fi movies. They're like, what do we do? We're like, gotta reverse the signals. Oh, my God. Like a balloon with too much air. Oh, shit. Damn it, Star Trek. And so they do the whole reverse the signal. They do the whole, like, what is the signal made out of? It's made out of people. God, it's Soylent Green. Oh, no. Ooh, these antibiotics are making me loopy. Alright, what movie am I talking about again? So, anyway, so they fuss around with the sonic turntable. I feel like Doctor Who should have one of those. And then, so then they made it where, like, instead of those fellow Titans going against Godzilla, it's like you gotta bow down to his ass, because, like, Rodan was like, alright, bitch, you know. Rodan was like, okay, even though I got, like, a hole in my chest, because Mothra put a hole in my chest. That was, like, random, too, where, yes, we knew that Mothra was gonna be there, so, of course, there was a larva, and it became Mothra, but I loved how they just kind of snuck in the twins, you know, Mothra, those twins, yeah. I was glad they snuck them in there, not they really snuck them in there, but they kind of just threw them in there, because I was thinking that, I was like, alright, if we're gonna have all the Titans, we're gonna make this, like, that movie, like, you gotta have the twins. I was disappointed they weren't together. They were just, like, on separate sites, because I guess they couldn't afford doing, like, the green screen thing of, like, having that actress, like, next to herself, you know. Martha. That's the dance for Martha. Martha! Oh my god. Superman, Batman are gonna start freaking out. Oh, antibiotics. Anyway, so, oh yeah, and then there's, like, of course, because it's an American adaptation, so it's like not evil corp, but like evil hench guys, like evil, militia, that's the word. Evil militia guys are trying to, like, use the Titans for evil, you know, that's why they all were woken up in the first place, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? We're watching Godzilla fight and kick ass, and that's the whole point of this movie, is to see Godzilla kick ass and be like, I really enjoyed it, you know, as much as I'm making fun of a lot of it, because, you know, it's a Godzilla movie. You watch a lot of the old Godzilla movies, like, you're just like, this is some campy ass shit. I forgot which one was, like, was it Gamera, Jesus Christ, Godzilla versus whatever the fuck. There was a Mystery Science Theater episode on it, where Godzilla is literally just, like, he, like, jumps up and does, like, what the fuck's that called? See, I'm not... drop kick, that's it. But it's like Godzilla's about to do a drop kick, but instead he, like, flies in the air on his back for a good, like, half minute, you know, and then he's like, boop. Yeah, like, they had shit like that. So it's like, you could kind of get mad at it, but it's also like, if you've seen the previous movies, it's like, they're kind of going within tradition of the silliness of it, you know. Again, I'm all over the place, because antibiotics. Oh, God. But anywho, yeah, and then, like, the wife, she sacrifices herself, but Paul and I, like, we agreed that was a bitch move kind of sacrifice, because, like, she acted like she was sacrificing herself, like, for the greater good kind of shit, but we knew she sacrificed herself because her ass would have been jailed, because she was the one who, like, was like, I'm gonna detonate, you know, Ghidorah out, like, oh, Ghidorah? Yeah, that's another way, but anyway, but, like, she was there, like, run, honey! Boop, you know, and then people are like, I don't think she did it, couldn't be her, the militia guys must have made her, and the husband was like, nah, I saw her with my own eyes, she fucking hit the thing, told me to run, and Millie Bobby Brown's like, I don't know who to trust anymore, I went and ran to my old house, and I'm in the tub, and the house fell on me, but I'm fine, because I'm Millie Bobby Brown, and I survive everything, you know. But, anyway, Godzilla survives, kills Ghidorah, and, all the other monsters survive, and then the movie ends with, like, you know, they're kind of, like, you hear the news signature, like, something's happening in Skull Island, and we're like, yeah, because we know in, like, a year or two or three, there's gonna be a Godzilla versus King Kong movie. And Paul's like, how's that gonna make sense? And I was like, you know, they did that before, right? And he's like, but Godzilla's huge and King Kong's not that big. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe they'll do like a versus, but really they're like teaming up. You know, it's one of those things where, like, you know, like, we're enemies, but now we're buddies. And then they do, like, a vaudevillian kind of thing. You know, I don't fucking know. As long as we don't revert back to that thing, that one movie, as long as we don't revert back to that, you know, we're fine. But anyway, there was that. Oh, and then trailers. It's a bunch of summer blockbuster movies you're expecting. You know, like Spider-Man: Homecoming, like all the summer blockbusters that we're gonna get worldwide, American films, da. But one thing caught our eye, which was the Hobbs and Shaw trailer, and so they don't call it Hobbs and Shaw, or call it like Fast and Furious 35, whichever one this is, even though it is like a spin-off. But they call it Wild Speed: Super Combo. We're in the theater and they were like, Wild Speed Super Combo, and we were like, yo, what? We were like, oh. They're like, wild, I was about to say wild combo super speed. Well, it could be called that as well, because why the fuck not? But anyway, God, oh God, my camera is like, has no idea what to do with itself. Anyway, I'm done talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters, no kerning on the second row. I'm schwitzing in this. Alright, bye.